me say something, and let me say it loud enough so the motherfuckers in the back can hear it. I don't care if my dad was purple. I don't care if he was blue. I don't care if the motherfucker was periwinkle. I'm a black woman. I am a black woman, and one of the most hurtful and irritating and painful things that you could ever do is when I am talking about being a black woman and I'm sharing my experience as a black woman for you to remind me that my dad is white.
The dark side of being biracial in America is a conversation that I feel we don't have enough. And being biracial myself, I can tell you that there are many different layers to being raised in America, being mixed with specifically black and white. Now, because America has so much tension built up between these two races, and we all know why: discrimination, racism, just the history of the horrendous things that have happened to our African people, it makes total sense. This country needs to be healed, and it's not happening. But us, we, the mixed race, we have to live among this. And sometimes it can be very challenging. And I decided to put a few videos together to kind of show you. Now, this doesn't explain all of it, but it does show you one thing that we do struggle as a mixed race. So let's just get right into it.
Between biracial children that have black moms versus the ones that don't is because when black men have children with non-black women, they don't raise their kids to be black. They raise them to be mixed or to be proud of whatever heritage that the mom is. Versus when other races of men go out and have children with black women, they raise their children to be black and to love being black. And I am speaking from experience because I have a black mother and I have a non-black father. But I am dark skinned, so I think I was going to have to be, black and proud either way. But I do have light skinned sisters, and my sisters were always raised to be proud of being black. They were always raised to be proud of their hair, and they were just taught that black women were the best thing walking this earth. But we know that most likely if that black man goes outside of his race to have them children anyway, he does not like black women. He does not like black people. Most likely he does not like being black. I'm not going to say all, because I know somebody can't wait to jump in the comments and say, not me. My black dad loved being black, even though he had babies with my white mama.
With a white mom.
Now, I want to stop right there real quick. So I actually, to a degree, I agree with her assessment that when the mother is black with a white man, or the mother is white with a black man, a lot of times, she has a point. A lot of times, the children, when they have a white mother, they do tend to have more of a mixture culture thing going on. Like, hey, you're neutral, you're both, you don't necessarily have to pick one. This is true with the white mother versus having a black dad. And when you have a black mother and a white dad, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times the children identify as black. Like, I'm black. I'm black. That's what it is. And what I don't agree with is the idea that it's because a black man being with a white woman means that he does not love himself. He does not love black women. He do not like black women. I feel like what she's doing is very hypocritical. And the reason I say it's hypocritical is because she said her black mother taught her, sisters and her, to be black and proud. This is a white woman. This is a black woman that chose to be with a white man. This black and white thing is crazy. This is a black woman that chose to be with a white man. Clearly, she does not hate herself. Clearly, it doesn't seem like she hates black people because she's raising her kids to be proud and to be black and to love your hair and to love your skin and to love your culture. So then why would you then flip it and say when it's a black man with a white woman, these same rules don't apply? Not everybody, but the most of them we know hate themselves and hate black women. To me, that's so hypocritical. And to hear somebody biracial say that is extremely sad, knowing you have a white dad. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, let's get into the video.
End up adopting this too white for the black kids, too black for the white mythology is because that's the messaging they receive from their mothers. What are my credentials? Imagine. But I was reflecting on this recently because growing up, a lot of the time, I felt distinctly other, and I was one of those mixed kids, that felt like I didn't want to be associated with black culture, and desperately tried
It's kind of
to white knuckle.
She's proving the girl's
hair
point
straighten
because her mom was
rock
white.
My way, book read my way into whiteness. When I actually reflect on my upbringing and on my adolescence, the black girls weren't rude to me or dismissive of me or frankly ambivalent towards me because I was mixed. It was because I was insufferable. And I learned how to be that insufferable somewhere. And I think it was from my mother. I learned it by understanding my hair and my very being as inconvenient.
Oh, wow.
I learned to recognize my own blackness as a source of
that goes on in
frustration.
mixed kids.
And when I did hear positive things about my blackness, it was things like, well, white people tan their skin to look like you. People perm their hair to have
These
hair
are
like yours.
conversations.
It was always
This
done in
does
this
happen.
super
She's right.
fetishizing
She's not lying.
way that didn't ever leave me feeling proud of my blackness. And when I looked around my family and the dynamics of my family and how they engaged with race, how they thought about blackness, I wasn't exactly picking up from them that it was something that I should be proud of as a component of my identity. I was actually encouraged to see myself neutrally. And neutral
just hit it
is
on the head.
white.
Try to say this as clear as possible.
So she just proved the point to what I said about the lady. Remember what I said? What she's saying is necessarily true. She's not lying. It is true. When you have a white mother versus a black mother in an interracial race, a lot of times that white mother does teach the children you are neutral, right? You're black and white. You're not just black, okay? And with the black mother, no, my baby is black. You black. This is actually true. So I'm agreeing with her. What I'm not agreeing with is that the idea that it's because one party hates the other party. Yes, this does happen, but I would not say that it is as big as she make it seem, because then that would say her mother hates her own people. Her mother probably hates her own children. She would have to, because why would she get with the white man? Like, we can't think like that, right? It wouldn't be fair. So right here does prove that she's right. Growing up in an interracial house with a white mother versus a black mother, the white women tend to teach their children to be neutral, tend to not teach them to love their black culture or to be a part of their black culture. And if the men do not intervene and put it upon the children and put it upon the house dynamic, then it's not going to take place. But I'm going to get into why that is. Like, why is that happening? And then we're going to go now into the next video showing you again that what the first woman said is actually true, and this really does happen.
Let me say something, and let me say it loud enough so the motherfuckers in the back can hear it. I don't care if my dad was purple. I don't care if he was blue. I don't care if the motherfucker was periwinkle. I'm a black woman. I am a black woman. And one of the most hurtful and irritating and painful things that you could ever do is when I am talking about being a black woman and I'm sharing my experience as a black woman, for you to remind me that my dad is white and for you to invalidate my opinion on race and how it affects me just because.
So you heard what she just said. It was clear as day. This particular woman has a black mother and a white father. You see the difference? So the second woman had a white mother. The third woman and the first woman had black mothers. And do you see the same energy? I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. You're not going to invalidate me, right? But then the one that had the white mother, no. You're neutral. You're both. You don't need to engulf yourself too much into that black culture, right? And what people have to understand is what she's saying is totally true. This is actually happening. I showed you right here. And I can tell you, as someone with a white mother, this does happen. But it doesn't happen why she says it does. It's not because, like she said, the black man hates the black woman and hates himself, and this is why. No, it's because most mothers raise kids. That's why. If a white woman marries a black man and she's raising biracial children, she comes from a Caucasian household with Caucasian culture. The way they cook, the way they do hair, the way they decorate, everything is engulfed within the race that they were assigned, what they came into this world as, right? And that's what they're going to pass on to their kids. It makes freaking sense. And if it's a black woman that was raised in a black house and understands black culture, we're talking music, hair, dance, the way you love, just the way you speak, slang, all of these things, right? She, regardless of being with a white man, she's going to engulf that culture onto her children. And because mothers are nurturers and because mothers are really hands-on when it comes to their children, I'm not saying fathers don't have their moments, but overall, that's a woman thing. They're going to embrace that upon the children. What white woman is going to want to tell her mixed kids, you're black and proud? Remember that. No white woman's going to say that. She'll be invalidating her own race, her own culture. And if she loves her race and loves her culture, why would she do that? Now, why would a black woman tell her children with a white father, remember, you're black and proud and don't forget it, is also invalidating the whiteness? But because this country is so toxic and this country is so sick, this is why these things have to be done. She has to tell her children, love your skin, love your hair, love these things, because she knows there's a sick world where they say you should hate these things and not love these things. So until the world, the whites and the blacks, can get it together and learn to live as one and not keep fighting each other. And I'm not saying that black people started. I'm not saying it's the black people's fault, because we all know who started this whole thing. And we all know who's in power. And we all know who's perpetuating this, right? They have the power. They have the numbers, right? They continue to perpetuate this hate. They continue to push it upon people. And until the blacks and the whites find a way to coexist with all this hate, mixed people will continue to go through this. And I want to share with you what I'm talking about. So let's get into it.
Earrings only for white women.
Okay.
Oh, Karen, please. Half of me that's white wouldn't buy that.
I say that all the time too.
Yes, crap.
I say that too. I always tell people, half of me is offended by this. But you see what she said? These earrings are only for white women. It just, she's mixed. And she's like, half of me wouldn't buy that crap.
As a white person growing up predominantly in a white area, I never really knew that white privilege existed. And it wasn't until I met my wife, who's black, that I heard some of her experiences that it kind of shed light on me.
Because they live in a bubble.
Some examples that she had is we lived in this high-end apartment building. They have a concierge. We had just moved there. My wife was walking in with the dog, and the lady at the concierge refused to let her into her own building.
That's crazy.
So I had to actually come downstairs. And right when the lady saw me, she started apologizing profusely. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, all this stuff. But like, if I were to walk in, she wouldn't have stopped me at all.
And some people might say, oh no, that's just, that's nothing, right? Invalidating what black people go through in this country all the time. And I can tell you, I can give you many stories myself. I have many experiences and many stories that I can share with you, but that's not what it's about right now. But I can tell you, yes, this does happen and this is true. And I'm so proud of him to come on here and say, hey, this is an example. We lived in this high-end apartment. You know, as my wife's coming back to her building, her apartment, she's getting a 3rd degree. And I never understood that. I never understood how white people just, this lady worked there fine, but still, like, why are you giving this lady a hard time to the point where her white husband has to come down and get her into her own apartment? It's crazy. But I never understood some white people, how they just walk up to black people. Do you live here? Can I see your ID? Like, this is the entitlement that a lot of white people in America have, and they don't realize it. And he said it himself. I didn't even know that I had privilege until I got with my black wife. And if he has children, and his children tend to be born to have more of the African features, the hair, the nose, or the complexion, he will experience the same thing with his children. And it is a hard thing to go through.
A few weeks ago as well, my wife was on a plane and she had just gotten through TSA, all the checkpoints. She was just about to board the plane when there was a long queue where everyone's getting on, and they pulled her aside to do a double check. They didn't do that to anyone else, and I've never seen that happen before.
But people call that coincidence. It's just coincidence. It's not because of her race.
Was my wife, when she first moved here, she was applying for a job, and she was on the phone with them, and they're very excited to talk to her, and like, hey, come down here in person. We'd love to meet you. Right when my wife got in there and the lady saw her, she immediately had this like shocked look on her face, and she told her, "Hey, this job's been filled." And my wife was on the phone with her 20 minutes before that.
You see? So, and this has happened to me on the phone. It has happened to me. Like, I'll be on the phone. One thing, because of how I wear my hair or how I look different. Sometimes I can go on the Hispanic side. Sometimes people could look at me and be like, oh, she definitely has black in her. It kind of just depends on how I present myself, right? But a lot of times people say, I don't like to say this, but it's the truth. I get it all the time. Oh, you sound black, but I didn't know you look like that. Like, literally, it happened to me. I was calling about trying to get something done with my car. And when I pulled in and got there, I said, hey, I'm the one you spoke to not too long ago. He said, oh my goodness, I thought you were black. You sound like you were black. Literally, that's what the guy said to me. But people would say, oh no, you're looking too deep into things.
Call out, oh, you're biracial. Why can I say I'm black? Why would I want to be associated with you? My mama got rid of me when I was 1 year old. My black daddy took care of me, boo. My black daddy raised me, boo. I don't want to be anywhere near you snow roaches looking like pepperonis when you reach outside. Okay? Oh, she's self-hating. Yes, I don't want to be white. Why the fuck would I want to be that?
And I put that last video in there for a reason. I put that last video in there to show you the different sides of it. A lot of times, not only do we not know who and what we are. Am I white? Am I black? Or no, I am black. I'm not white. Or no, I'm white. I am not black. I am not a part of that. A lot of times you even have a self-hate of the part of the culture that you are. You really do. Because you find shame in it. And a lot of it, again, has to do with the country that we live in, the environment that we're in. If we weren't in this type of environment, I believe none of these things would be happening. But because we live in an environment with such a division among black and white people, this is what's going on. Meanwhile, we mixed people is stuck in the freaking middle. We don't know what we are. We don't know what we want to be. We get offended when someone says this or when someone says that. Depending on where you live in America, they might think you this or that. It's a lot. It's a lot that comes with being biracial. But I wanted to introduce you guys to the dark side, a part of the dark side. And there's more that comes with this. I hope you guys enjoyed today's conversation. I feel like it's not enough videos out there that talk about this. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys go in the comment section and tell me what you think about it. And let's think of some ideas and some things that we can do actively to kind of help children that are dealing with this. I'm a grown woman. I'm going to be fine. But there are young kids that are dealing with these identity issues and problems, and they're seeking ways to deal with this that are not good, and it's destroying them. And we as the adults should make it our mission to try and help as many people as we can, especially if we see what the problem is. So till then, you guys take care.